A very good evening to you tuned in to UBC TV. Welcome to News Tonight, this 21st of January 2020. Let's have a look at the headlines as we open the bulletin. Parliament demands a report on the Uganda-Rwanda relations. Electronic tracking system reduces cargo theft. Fourth person dies of the new coronavirus strain, while new sports minister demands accountability from National Council of Sports. Welcome aboard. My name is Michael Jordan Lukomwa. I'm with Mohammed Mugalua, sign language interpreter. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has urged investors to report government officials who seek bribes, saying that punitive action will be taken against those found guilty. The president made the call in London as he addressed leaders of over 70 British companies at the UK-Uganda Business Forum at the Doubletree Hilton Hotel in central London. The president is in London on a 4-day official visit where he took part in the inaugural UK-Africa Investment Summit, as we see here.
We have been having a bit of corruption by parasites that try to get commissions, bribes or favors from business people. I have launched a campaign against this. These people are easy to deal with. You would see, a few people have been arrested. It is easy to root out this evil. The parasites are hated by the public. We just need facts. These are easy to deal with in Uganda. Because some of the groups from some of the other places thought bribing was the way to get around, but I have blocked quite a number of their efforts. These people who approach you, if you could find a quiet way of even telling the High Commissioner, you don't have to tell me, you can tell the High Commissioner can whisper to me and we really lay a trap and we capture a few of these people. They will not know that you are the one who they will think that the Uganda services have become efficient at last. So therefore, as the African market is getting sorted out, because on paper now, the CFTA is signed. The Continental Free Trade Area is signed and ratified. But on the ground, the transport, is still a problem. But these markets are there. The market of East Africa is there. The market of Comesa, to some extent, is there. The market of Uganda is there. And the external markets, third-party markets are there. You have the capital, you have the technology, the spectacles for entrepreneurship needed some polishing, but if you can work on that, I think the sky is the limit. I thank you and I wish you good luck.
His Excellency Yoweri Museveni addressing the Business Forum in the UK. Now, First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Museveni, joined family and friends to pray for the late Timothy Mucherure at Namirembe Cathedral. Timothy died on the 18th of January after he sustained injuries when a reckless taxi driver near the High Court along City Square Road knocked him down. While speaking to the mourners at the funeral services for the late Timothy Mucherure, First Lady prayed for the surviving family members to seek God during the difficult times. She told the widow, Susan Kazora Mucherure, that God knows the mystery of death and trusting God in such trying moments will fill the gap of her beloved husband. The children and wife and family members described the late Mucherure as a hardworking, humble, kind and humorous person who at the time of his death was seeking for justice. The late Mucherure previously worked at the Uganda Commercial Bank, Ministry of Agriculture and Ministry of Health. The late Timothy Kazora Musherure will be buried on Wednesday at his ancestral home in Shema district. Cabinet has approved the ratification of the bilateral air services agreement to put Uganda at legal footing with her partners. Government spokesperson Ofono Pondo told journalists at the Uganda Media Center in Kampala that this approval between Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Justice and the Uganda Airlines, more agreements will be signed to enable movement of passengers.
It's the collapse of our Uganda Airlines in the mid-1990s, I think 1992, Uganda's air routes had been suspended by a number of countries because we did not have a national carrier. The government of Uganda also did not pay a number of its dues. And consequently, the international bilateral agreements which allows airlines operated by Uganda, originating from Uganda, to travel to various destinations elapsed. That then required that if we reinstate our national airline flag carrier, we need to resign those international bilateral agreements with the countries where we want our national flag carrier to fly to on a commercial basis with passengers and cargo. So yesterday, Cabinet did approve the ratification of the bilateral air services agreement, we shorten it as BASA. This ratification should put Uganda at equal legal footing with her partners. So we expect that with this approval, the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Justice and Uganda Airlines should be able to sign agreements with more countries to enable Uganda Airlines move passengers and cargoes to the different destinations.
Ofono Pondo, the Executive Director, Uganda Media Center. The Democratic Party has started preparations for their political roadmap or towards the 2021 general elections. This is done to allow new members join the DP and also give other members of the party an opportunity to renew their leadership and membership within the party.
Democratic Party has organized its National Delegates Conference where new individuals will be registered. Registrations are to take place on village levels following parishes where members are issued with party identification cards. At a press conference in Kampala, the organizing secretary Sulaiman Chidandala said the party is preparing for 2021 elections.
The requirements for elections are already out. The distribution exercise has already started, and 26th January, we are all convening at our villages to begin the process of electing and renewing leadership.
This is set to rotate in all districts, and on the 26th January, the party will take the activities in Gulu.
We are going to be in charge of the processes. Below are the sub-branches.
The DP members who defected to other political parties have been given chance to re-register so as to participate in these activities.
Remember, we are instructed by the National Delegates Conference to unite with those other members who had walked away from the party.
Although the Democratic Party has had challenges, it believes they can solve the internal issues.
Unity for the opposition. We are going, and we hope, to do away with the bickering you've been hearing from opposition every now and then.
Shaidat Nasaku and Lydia Chomukama reporting for UBC.
The incoming Minister for the East African Community Affairs, Kahinda Otafire, has blamed African leaders for failing to turn African resources to benefit their citizens more than 50 years even after independence. He says that the failure is partly due to divisions among the Africans and selfishness among some leaders. Otafire made the remarks while receiving the instruments of power from his predecessor Chirunda Chiveidinda in Kampala.
At the handover ceremony in the Ministry for East African Community Affairs, incoming Minister Kahinda Otafire described himself as an African patriot who wishes to see the whole continent integrate.
Me, I'm an African. I'm not a Ugandan patriot, I'm an African patriot. And I respect Uganda because it's a province of my country, Africa. Me, I work for my dream. My cherished goal is to see African unity. If we can get the East African community up on its feet functioning, I will have achieved the first step towards the unity of Africa. Our biggest problem is that we Africans have been steeped in sovereignty over countries that were created for us in Berlin. We have glorified artificial creations we call countries. We forget that at one time we were one people with a common destiny.
He says Africa is gifted with resources, but decried the failure by some leaders to turn African resources into hope for other citizens.
It's a shame when you see Africans drowning in the Mediterranean, going to resource-exhausted Europe, running away from resource-rich Africa, just because 50 years after independence, we the leaders of Africa have failed to turn the wealth of Africa into comfort for our people.
Otafile takes over ministry for the region at a time when the integration process is slow.
I may have been part of those who conceptualized the idea of East African community as Minister for Regional Cooperation. I was there at the negotiation. But since then, quite a lot of water has gone under the bridge. Many things have happened and I have to catch up. I am not going to perform miracles. I only want to lay an extra brick.
Outgoing Minister and the second Prime Minister Kirunda Kivei Jinja tasked Otafire on political integration of EAC, which he says has moved slower than he expected.
I have been telling my staff that when I was being sworn in by the President, he emphasized that this is your baby. We have done the custom union, the common market, the finance is okay. So your job is to ensure that you federate. And that has been my mission here. And if you don't federate in your heads, you cannot federate elsewhere.
Lydia Chomkama and Aguta Philip for UBC.
I wanted to create space at the back so that
Lydia and Philip. And at this point, let's take a very short break. On return, we have more. Please keep around.
Enjoy convenience today with Airtel Money School Pay. Dial *185#, select option 6, school fees, select option 2, school pay, select option 1, pay fees, enter student number, enter the amount, enter the PIN number to complete payment. Beat the back to school hustle today. Pay school fees conveniently using Airtel Money. Airtel Money, simple, instant, secure.
Airtel, the smartphone network.
Hi, I'm DJ Drogba. On average, almost 250,000 people die on the road in Africa each year. As a proud African, this breaks my heart knowing that so many deaths could have been avoided. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. Multitasking whilst driving is dangerous. Never take your eyes or attention off the road. Keep both hands on the steering wheel at all times. Don't eat or drink. Leave your mobile phone alone. Keep the music down. And stay focused. So when you're on the road, follow these safe steps and help save lives. We all have a role to play in road safety. Together, let's make Africa's road safer.
To those
On behalf of the National Chairman, the NRM Secretary General invites the following categories of delegates to the second meeting of the 3rd National Conference on the 25th of January 2020 at Namboli Stadium. The invited are the 1st National Vice Chairperson, the 2nd National Vice Chairperson, the 6 Vice Chairpersons representing regions, members of the National Executive Council, NEC, members of the NRM Municipal Executive Committees, members of NRM on Municipal Councils, promoters of the NRM organization, executive committees of the NRM in the diaspora, NRM members of Parliament or flag bearers, NRM members of the East African Legislative Assembly, members of the NRM Historical Leaders Forum, members of the National Executive Committees of all special organs, NRM chairpersons of districts or flag bearers, municipality mayors, members of NRM District Executive Committees, members of all District Executive Committees of all special organs, NRM members on district councils, and chairpersons of sub-county conferences. The public is hereby informed that no claims whatsoever will be entertained from any non-participants traveling to campaign.
Welcome to the Equal Opportunities Commission, an independent statutory body that works towards ensuring that all forms of discrimination, marginalization, and unfair treatment are eliminated. The Equal Opportunities Commission has power of court and can enforce its decisions. It is established and supported by the government of Uganda. It also garners support from development partners, civil society, the private sector, faith-based, and cultural organizations. Visit the Equal Opportunities Commission today, the home of equal opportunities for all, or call us on our toll-free line 0800 100 440. This message is brought to you by the Equal Opportunities Commission with support from the United Nations Human Rights Office.
Operation Wealth Creation is coordinating all government ministries, departments and agencies to unveil unique investment opportunities in every region of Uganda to local and international investors to transform subsistence farmers into the money economy. Operation Wealth Creation presents the Rwenzori Investment Expo, scheduled for the 30th to 31st of January 2020 at Mountains of the Moon University, Fort Portal City. Theme: Investment for Local Economic Development. This expo is one of the many regional investment expos anchored on agro-industrialization for local economic development, agri-led program, and will be held countrywide. Come explore investment opportunities in the Rwenzori region, from mining, tourism, agriculture, and many more. The guest of honor will be His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, the President of the Republic of Uganda. For more information, contact National Organizing Committee.
We'll now take you straight to business news tonight. The introduction of the electronic cargo tracking system has reduced theft on the Northern Corridor route. Besides tackling theft, the electronic cargo tracking system has also reduced delays caused by physical escorts along the corridor.
The business community involved in import and export of goods through the Malaba and Busia one-stop border posts have lauded measures that enhance the safety of cargo in transit. In the recent past, cargo was tampered with, diverted or even stolen en route to Uganda from the port of Mombasa in Kenya.
This one you are seeing here is a gadget and it has a name, which is a D series. It's a gadget which is put in a cargo transport from Mombasa, where they are loading the cargo to where the cargo is reached to a border where it's removed, so that the cargo can continue to the destination. So what they made to bring this thing here is to reduce cases of theft, especially from the side of Kenya and beyond.
However, those cases have reduced significantly due to the introduction of electronic cargo tracking system that uses the global positioning system from the point of departure to destination.
On units, most cases others are put at the boot, under the chair, and they are locked.
So, okay. So who is responsible for tracking this? Who tracks it?
There are those people who are at the control room, mostly in Nairobi and Mombasa. So they are the ones who are monitoring these things when they are coming.
The device enables shippers to monitor cargo location and condition virtually anywhere in the world in real time. Electronic cargo tracking system is implemented by collaboration between the regional revenue bodies. It reduces physical escorts, which for decades had been a major non-tariff barrier due to the delays associated and cost implications. Dennis Igor for UBC Business.
The Uganda Export Week has entered day 2 at the Hotel Africana, with the clinic recommending improvement in quality of services to boost value to export services. We have a story.
Export services refer to people from abroad seeking services available in Uganda. It was discovered that there are other areas like hotels, banks, logistics, insurance, universities, shipping that have potential to widen revenue base.
We must produce something that we can sell in the market. All the countries that have developed have sold something in the market. It is not possible that you sit and drink and come in the evening singing all the songs, and then you beat your wife and sleep, and you think money will come to your home. You never get out of poverty. And one of the ways is to export. One of the ways is to export. All the countries that have made it out of poverty and have developed, I don't know any other country that has become rich without exporting a product or a service.
The business clinics are sent on the need to improve visual packaging of services, branding, sensitization, more funding to ICT, and improving methods of training and attracting more private players.
But I know in the world, and all of you know in the world, that number one which moves, and that is through stock exchanges, New York, London Stock Exchange, Singapore, and Hong Kong, and wherever, is the money. Number two is services. Number three is merchandise exports. So services are important in bringing just a lot of money. And sometimes some of you who are in IT, you know, you can just, after you have made your innovation or invention, you can just make it as an attachment. You don't even need to get a lorry to transport it. You just get an email, attach, send.
Other events under the same flagship provide Ugandans with information on exports. The camp at Imperial Hotel emphasizes manufacturing and value addition.
One of the things that we see that is holding back the manufacturing sector is the issue of infrastructure, the issue of financing, the issue of information, to which the board is focused on.
Government goods and services stand at 18% of exports. However, more effort is needed to create markets abroad. Sandra Kahundiagawa, UBC Business.
We'll wind up business with a look at the money market and see how the Ugandan shilling is faring with other currency. Welcome now to our sports news, and there, State Minister for Sports Hamson Obua has toured National Council of Sports facilities. The minister started with meetings with the senior officials headed by the chairman of the National Council of Sports, Bosco Onyik, and the General Secretary, Patrick Ogwe.
At a handover ceremony last week, the Minister of Sports, Hamson Obua, requested to meet the National Council of Sports, all sports federations, and a visit to all sports facilities.
That with effect from next week, whether I have known where I'm sitting or not, permit me to hit the ground. From the field, the first activity, I want to have a tour of the Department of Sports in the Ministry of Education and Sports. Commissioner and PS kindly organize that within next week.
In the first meeting, Minister Obua met with the National Council of Sports officials. He cautioned against corruption and non-performing officials. The minister, however, noted with concern that there is a need for sports facility development, increase in funding of national sports federations, with priority being given to only those federations which are highly performing.
Someone is asking whether we are hoping to increase, others are getting little. We will be able to adequately dig deeper into the aspect of funding for the respective federations tomorrow during the National Sports Forum meeting. But when you look at developed countries, sports is majorly handled by the private sector. We are happy that government, in the case of Uganda, is giving a helping hand, is taking on the responsibility of supporting the respective disciplines.
Squabbles on some federations being favored whenever resources are allocated has been a song for some time. A follow-up on sports land that has been encroached upon is key on agenda, as well as autonomy of the sports governing body.
I've already indicated that when I had a meeting with the board here this afternoon, they indicated to me the fact that they already have an investment plan for this arena. This is for here. For others, like Mandela National Stadium, we will be able to discuss with them. Others, like Natigugu, we will be able to discuss with them. I think for today we are restricting ourselves to National Council of Sport. A stadium like Mandela National Stadium must be run as a commercial vehicle. The responsibility of government is to ensure that we, for instance, for now, facelift it. But in subsequent years, Mandela National Stadium must be able to generate resources and be self-sustaining.
Hamson Obua took over from Charles Bakabulindi. Reporting for UBC, I'm Shivan Auma.
Minister for Sports already at work there. Molen Kenyana is already here with the sports, with the weather update. Let us get to know what is that side.
Hello again, good evening and welcome to the Weather Center. My name is Molen Kenyana and I will be taking you through tonight's weather report. Well, lately we've seen mostly intervals of sunny, cloudy conditions, mostly dry conditions across the country. And one thing for sure is that we're likely to have the similar conditions for the next couple of days. Now, looking at our satellite analysis for today, we can see that we still have those drying winds coming in from the north through the Sahara Desert. Now, those are the ones responsible for the dry conditions as well as the haze that we're seeing in most parts of the country, also depriving us of wet weather conditions. Now, tomorrow in the morning, we're likely to start off the day with the intervals of sunny and cloudy conditions across the southern sector. We have chances of light rains across the islands of Lake Victoria, but mostly sunny conditions are forecast across the northern half of the country, central as well as eastern Uganda. We're likely to have a similar situation in the afternoon. We'll be seeing much more of that sun across the northern half of the country, although we're likely to have some chances of light rain still across the islands of Lake Victoria. Remember that our daytime highs, we'll be seeing a really warm day compared to what we had today. We will see a maximum of 29 across Kampala, and also we are forecasting a maximum of 32 across the northern half of the country. The Karamoja region will be a little bit warmer though. We'll have temperatures going up to 33, and Kabale Highlands we are forecasting a maximum of 26 degrees centigrade. Moving over to some of the world cities, we're forecasting sunny intervals for Mombasa, but a very warm day over there. We'll see temperatures going up to 33. We're also likely to have cloudy conditions across London as well as Kigali, and sunny conditions are still forecast for Paris, although we'll have a maximum of 5 degrees centigrade. And with that, we wrap up today's weather report. Thank you very much for joining us. My name is Molen Kenyana. Have a good day tomorrow.
Thank you so much, Molen. Let's look at the headlines and close our first edition of News Tonight. Parliament has demanded a report on the Uganda-Rwanda relations. Electronic tracking system has reduced cargo theft. Fourth person has died on the new virus. While the new sports minister has demanded for accountability from the National Council of Sports. That brings us to the end of our first edition. Let us leave you with the next program as we prepare to get back to you with a bigger arrangement that will be at 10 p.m. Michael Jordan Lukomwa with Mohammed Mugalu and the whole team. Enjoy the rest of the evening.